Hello! Today I'll talk to you about a great tool that you need to know about as a programmer. So in this video, I'll show you how to use the debugger and how to find the logical errors and the bugs in your project. So stay tuned. Welcome back. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing and hit the notification bell in order to receive the latest videos. Make sure to watch the video to the end. I'll share with you a good example and I'll give you some questions. I'll ask you some questions to be answered. So please write your... Okay, so the errors can be classified into syntax errors and logical errors. With syntax errors, you know that the compiler will help you to point to these errors and you need to fix them before you get started. But on the other side, you need to know about how to fix the logical errors. So what do we mean by logical errors? Let's say that you are running your program, your project, and you are receiving unexpected results or inaccurate result. So how can go over this? How can you fix this problem and to find out where is the problem is located and how to reach this problem in order to fix it? The best way is to, as we mentioned, is to use the debugger, and the debugger will help you to show you what's going on behind the scenes, right? So behind the scenes is what you want to work on and to see the progress of your project, progress of your parameters, your variables, and then you can tell where is the problem and going to this specific location, whereas maybe it's in your main method, in any other sub methods or in any other pieces of your project. So this is an important thing to know, and this is what I'll show you to be used in order to find these problems. So let's jump into the computer in order to show you these things and to show you how to get started and how to use the debugger in Netbeans. And thank you. Before we get started, go ahead and bring your computer and let's start working together. Let's make this video an interactive video, and I'll share with you the project and the code that I'm going to work on. So please pause and go to the description below, download the code and start there. Here is the program that we are going to work on to demonstrate the concept of debugging and to debug this program. My first question for you is to read this program carefully and try to figure out what this program is doing. So write your answer in the comments below. Then I'll share with you what this program is doing. So read this one carefully and compare it to your answer, and this is the first thing to do. Next, I'll walk you through the steps here to trace this program and to see the variables. We'll run this program together, and I will not show you the answer right away. I'll just will walk you through the steps, these steps, and we'll see the output step by step. So now, how to get started, how to start debugging. This is Netbeans, and after opening the project, it's in the description below. As I told you, we have many options to start debugging this project. First is pressing the F7. Press the F7. With pressing F7 once here, you will see underneath, you will see the variables that you have in your project and the values of them. If you are not able to see this tab here, so you can go to Window menu and then go to Debugging and select the window that you want or the tab that you want. So here is the Variables tab. Next, keep pressing F7. So I'll press the F7 once again, and here, look at this. The S is here, and this is the initial value as we can see here. So we are seeing what is going behind the scenes, and this is a great opportunity and a great skill that you need to know in order to figure out what is going on, to find the logical errors especially. So here, next I'll press again F7, and now we'll see the value of n. So this is n, the counter 4, and here n is 1 as we initialize it here. So n will go from 1 to 3. Now we'll start by initializing the variable f, and the initial value 1, p initial value is 1 again, and so on. Now we are entering the next loop. It's the k, and here is the thing. So keep pressing F7. I'll keep pressing F7, and I'll get some results. So k now is 1, p is 1, and so on. Now my second question for you: what is the value of s now? Before you press F7, hold on. Before you press F7, I want you to write down in the comments below what is the value of s. So we started with s equals to 0, but now we are updating the s. So great. So let's move on and let's press F7 again, and we'll see the s. Compare this to your answer. This is the s now. We'll repeat the same step, and the same steps will get new values. Repeating that, and now s. Can you tell me what s is? Check it out. S, we started with S0, and then we updated S2.5. Now pressing F7, here is it. 1. Is that this is matching your answer? It's 1 now. We are accumulating the numbers. So we can keep going, and we'll see the output. After finishing that, we are now updating the s again, and we can see all the values here, or the variables, and now s. So what s is now? Check it out. 1.7. So we are done, and this is the final result. S now is 1.75, right? So this is all. So this is the first way to do the debugging. One more hotkey that you can use in order to debug your code, but this time we are going to use different way. So instead of pressing F7, I'll switch and use F4. So what's the difference between F7 and F4? F7 will start from the very beginning of your project, but F4 will start from where is the cursor, from the cursor. So if the cursor is here, so it will run and stop here. So, or in other words, it's better to say that I want to trace this statement. I just want to start from here. So I'll set the cursor here, and I'll press F4. Look at this. So we already here, and the compiler did all the steps for us here, executed all of these steps and stops here. So I can keep moving now, go back to F7, and here I can see the values going up. So starting from the place where the cursor is, and I can keep going pressing F7. So just to start from where the cursor is, I need to press F4 instead. Now, I have another option. I can set here a breaking point. So instead of using the cursor, I'll run the code and stop, the compiler will stop here, and I want to check the values of the statements or from here and down. So what I want to do now is doing Control F5. So when I press Control plus F5, I'll jump right away to the breaking point. Now I can keep using F7 the same way and going all the way to the end of the program and to see the output step by step. So we have F7, F4, Control F5, and we have F8. Let me show you what the F8 is doing. Now let me show you the purpose and the function of F8. So I have added a couple of statements, and look at these statements. First, I created a method, a public static method, trace1, and all what I did is just printing a message to show you this statement, testing the method. And here in the main, I called this method trace1, and then there is an additional statement to print the message end of the program. Let me show you here. So first, I will put a breakpoint here, and I'll run the code until I reach this point. So can you tell me which key I have to press in order to get right away to this breaking point? Write it down. 1, 2, 3. So the answer is Control F5. You see that? I am already there in this point. Now let me try using F7, and I'll compare it to F8. So F7, I'll jump. The compiler will jump inside the method and running the statement here. So look at this one. The program counter is pointing to this statement. Pressing F7, I am reaching the end of the method, and going back to the main, displaying this statement and stop. Here I'll run the program again, and I'll show you now F8. What is the difference between F7 and 8? Now go right away by holding Control plus F5, and I am here in the statement. Now I'm going to use the F8 instead of F7. So use F8 once. Look at this. I didn't go into the method. I just received the output of this method and without getting into the details of this method. So now F8 again, and I'm doing this to do the rest of the program. So again, the difference between F7 and F8, F7 will take you to the steps of the method, into the method step into, and the F8 is just step over, working on the method, running the method without going to the statements of the method, without showing you the details of the method. The last thing to share with you here, let's say I am using Control F5, I am going to the statement, and now pressing F7 here. If I want to exit this method, I use the F7, and now I'm in the method trace1, and I want to exit this method, going back to the caller, to the main, without tracing the steps in this method. So all what I want to do is holding Control and F7. It will take you outside the method. But here you cannot tell the difference because we have just statements. So if we have two statements here, let me show you. If we have these two statements, or maybe three statements here, 1, 2, 3, and let me show you here again. So I'll stop it, I'll press Control F5, I'll jump to the breaking point, and now I'll press F7. Now I'm inside the method. So if I want to exit the method without going to the next steps, but still the compiler will do the job, will compile this method, will execute this method and exit the method. So I'll hold the control button plus the F7. I am out of the method. It has been executed, and now going back to the caller, F7, I'm done. Great. Thank you.